And I'm back. Like I said I would. I'm back here for the news and theory at Theory BFF. Your bartender tonight, beer fueled fantasy shots, news portion of Thursday's episode, October 26, 2017. The last Thursday I will be on probably for this season, barring any crazy things happening. Just did a dynasty outlook for the rookie quarterbacks for this season. Check that out if you haven't already. Tomorrow, Hopper will be back on doing his CFS plays for the week. Nick will be back in on Saturday to do his ins and outs portions for all your injury updates, and then those guys will be on Sunday morning to do their live Q&A, Beerfield Live, right before the London game kicks off. Mine and Nick's Minnesota Vikings versus the ever so hapless and praying the season ends Cleveland Browns. Decent amount of news kind of came out. Joe Flacco, it's an update, got knocked out of the game with the concussion. The hit looked pretty ridiculous, a little late. I'm one who think these guys should be able to just play. This one enticed a massive brawl. Shit broke out. As of right now, Ryan Mallett's saying so fucking praise everything that Flacco can come back and play next week. So we're going to jump into more of the news here. Per Adam Scheffner via Twitter, and Quan Bolden now has hopes to come back out of retirement and play again this season. He was granted permission by the Bills to seek a trade, as he's still under contract by Buffalo. Kind of not surprised by this. I assumed the trade. I'm not trade. I assumed his retirement wasn't because he's ready to put it up. It was because the Bills are fucking nothing. And this was shortly after Watkins had gotten traded. So Bolden, like a lot of us thought, that the Bills have cashed it in. Bolden probably wants to go to a team that's in need of a receiver, of a playoff team. Not taking into account salary cap, contract, anything like that. Couple playoff teams stand out here that may want to bring him in. Baltimore may want to try to bring him back as kind of that resurgence of this team. Injuries to Pierman, Wallace, and Macklin have been around all year. I think the three of them have only played together once or twice this season. He can go to the Patriots. We can't keep a healthy Amendola on the field. Philip Dorsett hasn't taken of anything. Gronk seems to always get hurt. Obviously, he can land anywhere at his age, and what he could maybe provide to a team is very minimal. But he could make some sort of play. Detroit may want to bring him back in as they try to make a push without a Rogerless Packers and Green Bay not being a playoff team, and the Vikings offense not really there. I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. Moving on to Carson Palmer was officially placed on IR with a broken left arm. Pretty much ends the season as he is not eligible to come back until week 16 of this year, and it looks to be the end of his career. He was contemplating retirement this season, didn't do it. Felt like he had another year. The Cardinals felt like they had another year. Obviously, it was David Johnson that ruined shit. Brandon AP blows up. Everyone's like, the Cardinals are back. The Cardinals are back. And then he fucks up, and then that's the end of it. It's sad. There's a lot of up and downs in his career. I liked him coming out of USC. I liked him in Cincinnati, even as a Ravens fan. It's just unfortunate that he could never stay healthy enough to really, put together a solid stretch in his career. Let's hope maybe we'll try to make another run. Maybe he'll be like Steve Smith and decide not to let it call it quits. Moving on. Adam Scheffner reports that Jay Cutler is expected to be available in Week 9. This was to be kind of expected. I thought his injury was only a week or two thing. Matt Moore hasn't really done much of anything so far. I believe the Ravens are potentially still up 20-0. They're up 20-0 at the start of the second half. It's been all Ravens, obviously. Miami needs them. Hopper referred to Matt Moore as a bad Jay Cutler. A lot of Chicago fans here didn't disagree. They actually don't. They actually like Matt more than Cutler. They just really fucking hate Jay Cutler. But either way, he could be back next week. Jay Gruden from the Redskins said he will play the hot hand between Josh Stockton and Terrell Pryor. thus putting Pryor into more oblivion and giving us docs and truthers the boost we need to finally trust his ass. 84% target share, or not target share, excuse me, 84% snap count last week. Well over what Pryor was. He looks to be the new number one in Washington, who is craving for that receiving spot. They were not going to win a lot of games with a shitty fucking offensive line and no receiving play. Right now, their entire offense is Chris Thompson, Vernon Davis, and Jordan Reed, throwing a little bit of, you know, Jamison Crowder, Terrell Pryor, and Doxson. That's what you got. They need someone to step up, and Doxson was drafted to be that. I like him as a YOLO play this week. We'll see what happens. Last piece of news before we get into the Thursday injury reports is Dante Hightower, the linebacker for the Patriots, is done for the season with a torn pectoral muscle. He's been the only redeeming part of this fucking Patriots defense here. Side of maybe Butler, there hasn't been much here. And you saw what happened to the Patriots after Hightower went out against the Chiefs in Week 1, where Creed Hunt just went historic on that ass. This pass defense wasn't even playable to begin with, and now they are going to be a shit show for the rest of the year. Not good for the defense. Good for people playing against the pass defense. So we're going to move on to some quick Thursday notable injuries. Speaking of the Patriots, Danny Amendola is dealing with a hyperextended knee and is actually considered questionable. Not just say, I'm Bill Belichick and fuck everything questionable. He is questionable to play, which means he probably won't play. For Danny Amendola, his true calling, he needs to be fully healthy to go. I expect them a little more Philip Dorsett here, I guess, but it's mostly going to be a lot of Chris Hogan and a lot of Brandon Cooks, and you can do some damage to this Charger secondary, who's ever not being covered by Hayward. So we'll see what happens. I like Hogan a little bit more than Cooks because of that this week. Moving on to some more quick news. Michael Thomas returned to practice, ending his potential weirdness of not playing yesterday. Manuel Sanders is considered. Manuel Sanders is still on the sideline. I don't expect him to play. Diggs practiced in full today while Bradford didn't practice. Diggs is planning to make a trip to London with the team, and he has already, I believe. I like his chances of playing. If he was anywhere near not ready to play, they'd probably sit him. Bye week next week, they would have probably just let him come back in week 10 or week 10 afterwards if needed. So I expect Diggs. I'm a little cautious as I've seen a lot of full in practice Diggs and still not completely healthy. But as of right now, trusted he's very good to go. Last piece of news: Golden Tate is unsure if he'll play against the Steelers on Sunday. Our rankings reflect this. The three of us don't expect him to play anyways. That's why Marvin Jones is a wide receiver 1, or low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3 type of play. Pittsburgh's got a really good pass team. It's been really good against wide receivers this year. It's got a good overall pass defense. And Stafford really hasn't been the same this season as they try to be more balanced with their running game. It's another reason why Kenny Galladay is also coming back is ranked as high as he is. Potential chances. So don't fire up your Golden Tates. At least be very cautious. I wouldn't play him this week anyways. Even if he does go, he could be more of just a decoy, which means now he's guaranteed for 10 receptions, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So whatever. Fuck shit. That's all I got for news today. I'm again Dan Theory at Theory BFF. Behind me is at Nick Sparks with the Z and S. At home, probably trying to stay awake, is at Hot BFF with 2 P's. Please like, subscribe, do all the cute things you can do for us to help us keep growing. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what we can improve on. Let us know what you like. If you guys like these segments, continue to give us feedback on our actual podcast of the things that you want to keep hearing from us and like. We want to get better for you guys, not just for us. We want to keep giving you guys awesome content. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram with the same name, Beerfield FF. On Facebook, Beerfield Fantasy Football. Our website, I believe, is ready to go. We just need to put content up there before we really make it live. So the three of us are going to start working on actual articles and things like that. I may take this dynasty format that I did for my previous segment and do it overall for running backs, receivers, and tight ends, just more in writing format. I know when Nick takes this over starting next week, he wants to do more dynasty stuff. He may take what I did and do his own spin on it. Whatever. It's great here being with you guys on Thursday. Again, I will. Our new schedule is I will be on Mondays and Wednesdays, or yeah, Mondays and Wednesdays. Hopper will be on Tuesdays and Fridays, and Nick will now be on Thursdays and Saturdays. Sundays will still remain the same as those two will be on. Depending on my work schedule, I will maybe be able to join them or not. Again, thanks guys. Have a great week. Hopefully your Thursday night's going amazing with with whoever you started. Ravens defense probably J Tuck too. You guys have a great one. Peace.